Hey, so the biggest question I get about this is, Mr. Schneider, what do I do if we don't have graph paper? Well, hey, guess what? In my day, I didn't have graph paper either, and I was thankful for it. Your parents were too. So here's what you do. It says plot 3 points on graph paper. Well, guess what? You have a paper, you have a writing utensil, or you have canvas, and you have your finger. That can be graph paper. Oh, not canvas, notability. You know what I mean. So here's what you do. First step, you look at your numbers to make your graph. There's no negatives. So you don't need to put negatives on your graph. Now you look at all the x numbers, okay? You have a 9, a 9, and a 5. The biggest x number is a 9. Okay? So make it even. I'll show you why. Round that up to a 10. So now we have 10 here. Cut it in half, you get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. See, you have a graph. Now, let's look at the biggest y numbers. We have a 7, a 10, and a 10. Oh, 10 is the biggest. Cut it in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So, here's what we got. Now we have the graph. Now we got to plot our points. 9, 7 is green. 9, 10 is red. 5, 7 is pink. Let's do 9, 7 first. Over 9, up 7. And I always put a circle on my point so you don't think it's just a random dot. Next, over 9, up 10. That's red. Over 9, up 10. And then finally, over 5, up 7. There we go. So now what we want is we want the height. This is a 7, that's a 10. This is obviously the height of that triangle. So now that distance from 7 to 10 is 3. So that is your height. Okay? I'm going to do a couple more examples if it'll help you. So, first off, there's no negatives, so we don't need to put negatives on our graph. Now we got to put in the numbers. The biggest x is 6. Cut it in half for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our graph. Now we look here. Our biggest y is 3, but that's harder to cut in half. So let's bump it up to 4. Cut it in half for 2. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now let's start graphing, huh? We have 1, 2. 1, 3. And 6, 2. 1, 2 is over 1, up 2. Oops. 1, 3, over 1, up 3. And 6, 2 is over 6, up 2. That's a triangle, and this is the height, which is what we wanted to find. So the height here, that's the distance between 2 and 3. Well, that's just a 1. So that's the height of our triangle. Okay? Now, what if it didn't look like that? Okay? What if it instead looked like this one? Okay? So let's see. There's no negatives. So graph it like that. Now, 3, 7, 3. Well, the biggest x is 7, which rounds up to 8. So I'll put an 8 here. 4. Oh, I can cut 4 in half and get 2. See, look how easy that is. And everything looks pretty good. The biggest y is 10, so I'm going to put a 10 here. Then a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we color. 3, 9 will be orange. 7, 10 will be red. And 310 will be pink. 3/9 over 3. Up 9 for the orange. Over 7. Up 10 for the red. And then over 3 up 10 for the pink. Oh, that's really small. That distance here, that's obviously the height, is just a 1. So that's my height again. See? Make your own graph paper. Builds character.